In 2023, the Cyber Tip Line received more than 36 million reports of child sexual exploitation, much of it occurring online. These reports are coming in from the U.S. tech companies as well as the public, members of the public, from the children who are being victimized, their friends who may be reporting on their behalf, or a family member who is reaching out asking for assistance. With the Cyber Tip Line that started, we have been spending a lot of energy, of course, rightly so, trying to get reports into the hands of law enforcement so law enforcement can identify the individuals who are trading the sexually abusive images of children. But what we realized very early on was that while law enforcement's very busy identifying the people who are trading the material, who are the children in the material? Once a photograph is taken and uploaded, it just proliferates. And from that point, it's very difficult to identify where these children are. So we are very invested in child victim identification, which is when we're looking at a child sexual abuse image or video, we are looking within the photo, we are looking and listening within a video to try to identify where on earth this content was created. Whether it's a radio signal in the background, a newspaper on the ground, anything that may lead us to know where on earth that child may be currently being victimized. You know, having been at the organization for more than 2 decades, starting as an analyst on the Cyber Tip Line, going to websites that were being reported to us that were depicting child sexual abuse material and not knowing who the children were, not knowing if the child in the photograph was still being abused, and like, how could somebody not know? And looking at these pictures, how does the mother not know? Where's this child and what are they going through? And so over the last 2 decades, we've been developing programs. We've been developing training for law enforcement who are trying to identify these children. But we had never actually heard from the children depicted in the imagery themselves. Because they're child sexual abuse victims, they're rape victims, their faces aren't out there. They can't go and sit necessarily and talk and share their story for safety concerns and so many other things. What's really moved me is that we are now 2 decades in, more than 2 decades in, and many of the children that we have seen and images that have circulated, that this victim base has found their voice. That we now have victims who are adults of child sexual abuse who are depicted in imagery, who are able to actually teach us, inform us, look at our material that we are putting forth to law enforcement, to families, to children. What can we learn? Let the survivors lead us. And I have been validated in many ways that we weren't completely off the mark. There's more that we can do and better that we can do. But that we're at this point as a child protection community that we have so many strong, resilient, brave people who are able to speak, whether publicly or privately, about their experiences, teach us what we need to know, teach us so we can do better for the next child. It's really a wonderful moment in the child protection realm.